It's called the American dream, the desire to own a home of your own. But the sad reality is, while many may dream, many others feel it's an unobtainable dream to have. They've been hit by hard economic times, lost their job, are experiencing a drop in income, or seeing their credit rating decline. Prospective home buyers often question their ability to purchase a home if they have seen a drop in their income or have a bad credit rating. That's why it's important to note the steps you can take to make owning a home a reality. You'll first have to get a copy of your credit report and make sure it's accurate. Dispute anything that should be removed and try to fix any issues that are pending on your credit report. It will sometimes take up to a year or more to get your credit in decent shape, and then another 6 months at minimum to keep it up. You're also going to need a down payment in most conditions. Exceptions are special government loans available to vets and some low-income programs, but also depend on the state you live in, and in some cases, even local government initiatives and efforts. It's not always easy to just put down your down payment. You will also need money to pay for lawyers' fees, taxes, and other expenses that can add up fast. Be prepared. In most cases, a typical mortgage will not roll these fees into your loan, which means you'll have to come up with additional cash along with your down payment. Again, if you qualify for a program or loan that doesn't require 20% down, then you will have to come up with less, but typically there are fees involved and taxes that you will need to save up for. Realistically, you cannot expect to come up with these sums of money in a matter of a year or so unless you have an unexpected windfall. Saving for this amount of money can take anywhere from a few years to 5 or more years. If your situation is one where you have bad credit or low income, you have to be realistic about how fast you could change things. There's nothing wrong with having to wait. While you're working on saving some money and improving your credit rating, you can also research about housing programs available in your area. Call your local HUD office and even some realtors and ask about programs that may be available to help low-income people buy homes. You may be surprised at the programs offered. And remember, these programs can come and go quickly. Once you've reached the point where your credit is acceptable, you may be able to qualify for a loan. Many realtors are very good at what's called creative financing, in which they have a unique or typical way of finding lenders who will take a slightly risky borrower. Sit down with a broker and discuss your options. Work out a plan of how you can repay a mortgage of a particular amount. The broker should be able to tell you, given your income and your debt, how much you should be able to afford. You need to feel comfortable with that number yourself and make sure it's realistic. Sometimes the figures may look like you can easily afford a fairly high payment, when the reality is, if you're not comfortable with that amount or feel you will be house broke, it's just not a true, realistic approach. Getting pre-approved is not a guarantee, but it's a fairly good idea and reasonable attest to the fact that you can get a loan from this particular lender for the amount they say. This also lets you and your buyer's agent know what price range to look in when you begin house hunting. For many low-income situations, there are programs like Habitat for Humanity where you put in sweat equity. The hands-on work you are providing in building your own home helps you pay for your own down payment. There are also programs from various government agencies that can either help with your down payment, match down payments, or provide complete down payments, depending upon the program. Again, where there's a will, there's a way, especially if you're willing to work for the opportunity to have the American dream.